Brooklyn Independent Television.
It has been said that if a home is furnished successfully, just walking in the door is like receiving a big hug. Well, that's exactly what the homes did on the Fort Greene house tour. Let's go take a look.
Hello, I'm Howard Pitch, the former chair of the Fort Greene Association, standing in today for Paul Palazzo, who is the current chair of the Fort Greene Association. The Fort Greene Association goes back over 30 years. It was begun by a man, Herbert Scott Gibson, who saw the beauty of this neighborhood but saw much of it going to ruin. The duties of the Fort Greene Association are philanthropic. It is a 501c3 group. All of the money that we make on the tour goes back into the community for our schools and for our senior citizens. The theme of the Fort Greene House Tour this year is Live, Work, Play. The idea was to show how they can both live and work in these historic houses. We're now in Fort Greene Place, in Fort Greene. I'm standing in front of Cloth, a very unique venture between a husband and a wife. It's a woman's fashion store, and they've taken over a space that used to be a restaurant, but they've now made a very creative store, and they actually live here. So it's part of the theme of the Fort Greene House Tour this year, Live, Work, and Play in Fort Greene. The way we choose homes for the tour is quite an advanced problem. It's not often you can get people to volunteer their homes, but one of our neighbors, a good friend and member of the Fort Greene Association, Alan Hobbs, has been doing a wonderful job of scouting out houses, talking the owners into and giving them reassurance that their houses won't be ruined by so many visitors coming through.
I'm Caroline Beasley Baker, and I'm an artist who's lived in the neighborhood for a long time. And this year I'm a part of the Fort Greene Historic House Tour. Well, when I was first invited to be on the tour, it didn't occur to me somehow that there would be over 100 people who would come through. And so when I was told last week there would be 500, I had to kind of readjust my thinking about what was going to happen. But I've been in shows where there have been 1,000 people for an opening, and so I kind of started thinking there are going to be kind of continuous people, and it's been great really having people go through. It's fun. I mean, we all like to poke inside of someone else's home. We like to see how people live. And I've seen a few of the places on the tour. I think they're pretty diverse places, and it's wonderful.
The house that we're visiting now, it's probably from the early 1860s, and what's notable is what is called the French Second Empire style. It has a mansard roof. The mansard roof is a top story that's recessed, angles back, with 2 dormer windows, and it's quite special. We're now walking along Cumberland Street in Fort Greene, approaching Greene Avenue, and we're approaching a wonderful wooden frame house that goes back to about 1853. The house itself is quite special. The bones of the house have been kept intact in the parlor floor, except for the back of the house, which is totally new and modern. The porch, which is unusual today for houses, but many of the porches existed back in the 1860s as a breath of fresh air before air conditioning. We're entering the couple's bedroom now. It's quite tasty, very modern, even though the arches in the cove are original, very decorative. And we're moving toward the fireplace, which is actually a wood-burning fireplace, but it has the grill on it right now for the summertime as a summertime decoration so that you don't look at the dirty bricks in summer. So we shall move on now to the rest of the house. We're entering the study of the house. quite a wonderful place because it has the original pine floors, random width it's called, because some of the boards are 6 inches wide, some are 8 inches wide, but they go in random widths. We're in front of a wonderful 1866 home here in Washington Park, which is the name of the street, and it faces directly opposite the wonderful Fort Greene Park. What's unusual and special about these houses that we see behind me are called the Italianate style, because the ornate pediments over the door and the brackets supporting the pediments are based on acanthus leaves, which was a shrub out of the Mediterranean region. And that design goes way back as far as the Etruscans, and it's marvelous to know that even up to the 19th century, people were still using an old Etruscan motif in their buildings. We're now in the house where this wonderful statue of Artemis is. She was the goddess of the hunt, and I'm told of the moon. But here we now see her electrified, and on a wonderful newel post, which is original to the house, but she's going to hold that torch forever, rather like the Statue of Liberty itself. This is quite special. It's the old speaking tube. If you wanted some dinner or you wanted something from the kitchen, you would ring this bell down in the kitchen and then say to the servants, "Bring up some water," or "Bring up the dinner now. Thank you."
The tour helps unite the community. It brings people from outside the community into the community to see how people live and work. I've been here since 1982, and as far as I'm concerned, it's always been a wonderful, vibrant community, no matter the change of different kinds of people who've lived here. And now it's a more active neighborhood and completely wonderful in a whole new way.
People who come on the tour come from all over, from Connecticut, from New Jersey, even from Pennsylvania. And it's quite a wonderful tour. We get lots of publicity. And it's good to let Fort Greene become known for the beautiful place that it truly is. What we hope people will bring back from this tour is a great respect for the historic aspect that we have and what we call preservation. This is an historic district landmarked by the Landmark Preservation Commission of the City of New York. And what I think other people will bring are design ideas. You'll see how people have lived, and they will see what a vibrant community Fort Greene really is, with lots of outdoor cafes and people really excited and enjoying themselves throughout the summer and throughout the year.
Follow us on Twitter at BK Independent TV.